I think it's time to make another video because I've been observing some trends in the world lately, and I wanted to address or maybe make some predictions about things about where I think they'll head pretty soon. And honestly, I hope I'm wrong. As per usual, these are unscripted. It's just me talking to a camera, kind of improvising as I'm talking. But I do have some points that come to mind right off the top of my head. I think within the Linux space, or maybe the open source software space, we might see a greater shift towards monetization um, within the coming years. And while that can be a good thing for making sure that developers get paid for their work, it also opens the possibility that these companies might become more corporate, more than they may have already been. And that usually leads to some really negative consequences. Everybody knows that the ultimate result of corporations is they'll want money at any cost, even when it means reducing the quality of the product. They'll raise the price and make the quality of the product as bad as possible if it saves them money. And I'm speaking about this in the understanding of, I'm relatively new to open source. I'll admit that. I've only been doing open source development in the last 2 years, 3 years. But if there's one thing I can always bet on that has unfortunately been the greatest constant in my life and my observations is human greed. And I have a strong feeling that as leaders of these projects realize they can make more money off of commercializing everything, that's inevitably where they're going to trend towards. This doesn't come out of nowhere. Um, I ultimately decided to start making the video because of the odd situation with Red Hat Linux and the RHEL setup. I don't actually know that much about RHEL, but the term changes and the accessibility of the project as it is, the fact that it's changing, is sort of a signature that there's going to be a shakeup. There's going to be a lean towards uh, corporate style project development. I guess you could say what tipped me off about the shift to more commercialized models of, well, not just Linux and open source projects, but really just all community hobbies. Like, how do I put this? I'm sure everybody has seen how some of these companies are cracking down on their IP and their terms and their allowed content, and whether it's fan content or community driven updates or community powered systems or whatever. These things are delicately interlinked, even though they seem completely separate and different. And it really does have a lot to do with leadership. Well, whatever their motivations are, they take away permissions that people used to have because they found out it somehow affects their bottom line. And I feel like I'd better point this out now before the trend gets worse. And I don't want to end up being one of those people that said, I told you so, but at the same time, I just don't want people to be blindsided by a potential future where this becomes frighteningly normal or even intolerably bad, because our ability to control our circumstances is being reduced significantly over time, and it's never been more evident with the way that things are going now. That's my opinion on the possible future of community created content or community modified content. It You wouldn't normally think of these things as being interrelated, but I absolutely feel as if they're all connected in sort of a where we could potentially have a future where we have a lot less right to do what we've always been able to do. And it's a very scary, very possible future for us where we're going to have less than we've ever had, and as long as we allow it to happen, you know?